Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next evolution of health and wellness in the metabolic world. This is Let's Talk, but we are in the evolution of our new brand and our new step forward into the health arena. And so this call is becoming the weekly reset, the place where we come every week to reset our focus, to realign up our GPS so that we're moving forward in our direction toward optimal health and wellness. So my name is Dr. Mike Mills. This is my wife,
Amy, and we are introducing
Trilivy.
So we are super excited.
And tonight, in order to get us started, we just want to start by sharing you an overview of the innovation, the science, and the scientific breakthrough that led us in this direction to creating a new brand in the metabolic health market, Trilivy.
We're living in a pattern our metabolism was never meant to endure. Morning coffee, midday productivity, 3 o'clock slump. More than 90% of US adults battle metabolic dysfunction. Excess weight, brain fog, low energy, and other signals your metabolism needs a reset, silently slipping in through unhealthy food, chronic stress, poor sleep, and sedentary routines. What if we could rewrite the story? Design a life fueled by a healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. No more sitting on the sidelines or quiet guilt, hiding in family photos, and telling friends, maybe next time. You jump on new opportunities, repair your relationships, show up for your kids differently. Because weight is never the whole story, just the most visible one. Introducing Trilivy, a 3-phase metabolic health system with 3 powerful components. Targeted nutrition backed by decades of scientific rigor and clinical heritage. Human connection. In a world of automation and AI, our coaches help clients lose up to 10 times more weight and 17 times more fat. Habits of health. An evidence-based proprietary framework for creating better, lasting habits. Powered by Metabolic synchronization, our breakthrough science that reverses metabolic dysfunction by bringing your body's energy use, fat burn, and muscle preservation into harmony, helping you look, feel, and live better. Trilivy is a uniquely comprehensive 3-phase approach to health ownership. Inspired by Trilogy, 3, and Vita and Via, meaning life and way. Because real change doesn't happen in one move, it happens in 3s. It's layered, dynamic, and multi-dimensional. A journey built for lifelong transformation through metabolic science and human connection. With no endpoint or straight line to success, just a life of freedom.
So great. Craig, I'm glad that you could join us tonight. What an exciting moment this is. I mean, to me, it truly is historic.
It is.
And I know that you have been able to watch the evolution of, where we started, where we've been, and where we're going. And I would just love for you to share why this evolution into Trilivy was so necessary.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike and Amy. It is my pleasure to speak with you. You guys have probably listened to me before, and I've been around the coaching world here for 16 years. So it's been a long time. I've seen a lot of the evolutions and the upgrades as we're trying to um, be out in front of where the culture is going and trying to truly address the challenges. And back in the early days, this is 50 years ago, there was a company called MetaFast, and it was a medical fast. And it was designed back then for people that were going into surgery to lose 40 pounds in 2 months so they would survive surgery and general anesthesia. This is way back. There was no company, there was just this protocol that allowed people to lose weight. And Dr. Anderson knew about it and said, well, this is interesting, but it's not good enough. And so Dr. Anderson got involved and launched the company called Take Shape for Life, right? And he was like, let's make this more lasting rather than just surviving surgery. Let's actually live in a robust life. But Take Shape for Life got a lot of, it kind of kept a lot of the weight loss focus. And so we did Take Shape for many years and had habits of health, and we were trying to create a lifelong transformation system that didn't just focus on temporary weight loss where people just rebounded back, but we were trying to teach people how to have these habits. But it was still rooted in the old diet ways. So then we birthed Optavia, the optimal way. And Optavia had the latest science, had some upgrades to the fuelings, and some upgrades to even our coaching platform. And it did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, it still wasn't good enough. With In 2022, a lot of medical weight loss things are out. People are getting these metabolic biometric scales. People are becoming more educated to dive deeper than just the big number on the scale. And will that change? And so what Optavia did at the time is they took their science and they actually discovered some very profound clinical data that was important enough that we had to upgrade and evolve again. And that's where Trilivy came. And so Trilivy is far more than a weight loss program. It's a weight loss program that targets the right kind of weight. And it also includes all of these other awesome things that come along with changing our bodies metabolically, right? So balancing blood sugars, reversing type 2 diabetes, insulin sensitivity, all these different types of things. And so the company said, we can't keep the old name because it just doesn't do enough justice for what the world needs and who we're becoming. And so Trilivy was birthed, and now this is a three-step process that we're going to talk to you about tonight. But we're also going to talk about the science of how the fuelings have increased in the quality. The work that the fuelings do for us now is much deeper and much more profound. And then the game-changing factors, which is the coaching model and how the accountability increases your results. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But that's kind of the evolution as to how we've gotten to where we are now. And quite frankly, the simplest way is all the previous forms were not adequate for the tasks that we have in front of us today.
That is beautiful,
So
Craig.
good. Yeah.
And, you know, I I think it's sometimes important for us just to realize um, how big of a challenge we are facing. Right now we are in a space where only 10% of Americans are metabolically healthy, meaning 90% are not, right? And metabolic health just doesn't affect our physical health. Metabolic health is affecting our mental well-being. It's affecting our financial well-being. It's affecting our relationship and our connections within our family. It affects our communities. And we're really to a place now where it's affecting future generations, you know?
Mike, I
And
wanted to talk a little bit about that because here's a visual maybe. So you're metabolically not healthy, which means it hurts to walk. Okay, we'll just say something really simple. And then your whole family has gone to see a waterfall, or they've gone to some place where there's something beautiful to see. And you can't make that memory with them because your legs hurt. And so you sit at the bench at the bottom of the trail, and everybody goes up to the top and makes a memory that doesn't include you. This is what Mike is talking about in practical terms. When we have our bodies that say, we can do that, let's go. Now we don't miss out on those memories.
yeah, so
It's
powerful.
very powerful.
And just along that line too, Craig, I mean, I think a lot of people miss that, the number one cause of bankruptcy in our country is medical bills, right? That is the financial impact that this is happening throughout our society and impacting us on a day-to-day level, right? And how that aspect of the trilogy of health really has meaning to it. But the scientific breakthrough that really led us in this direction was something called metabolic synchronization, right? And it really is a beautiful concept. And what it means is it's our breakthrough in science that reverses metabolic dysfunction, right? 90% of people have this, and we now found that we have a protocol that reverses metabolic dysfunction, improves body composition by bringing our body's energy use and fat burn and muscle preservation into harmony, right? So, Craig, I thought it'd be great if you could just kind of bring that into context of what that actually means to us.
Yeah. Well, there's a fun word, just metabolism. Everybody say it with me, metabolism, right? And metabolism is really something very simple. It's the way your body stores or uses energy. Simple, right? So we bring in energy from food, and our body either uses it or stores it. That's our metabolism, right? And then when that's all functioning properly, you have metabolic synchronization. All your endocrine systems and your cardiovascular systems and all these different systems inside your body, they're all working in harmony. We were just at a big metabolic conference, and they had this symphony play, and they were showing how when the musical instruments played in synchronicity, it was music and it was magic. And then they played out of sync, and it was a disaster. And it was an audible version of what's going on inside of our bodies. And so synchronization is when you bring all the parts together so they play a symphony, and that's when we're synchronized. And so metabolism and metabolic dysfunction is when those things aren't working together. You've heard the term too, where somebody says, I have a beer belly, right? Well, there's actually no beer in there, believe it or not, right? But what goes on, it's like you don't open them up and there's 6-pack of beer. It's actually what happens over time is carrying that weight out in front around your organs is the dangerous kind of weight. It's called visceral fat. And visceral fat is killer fat. So think about that. Visceral fat equals killer fat. Okay. So when we're in metabolic dysfunction or metabolic even syndrome, those types of things are when these bodies, our symphony is not playing together. And synchronization is when we start to reduce that fat. We start getting the conductor, and it starts getting everybody playing in concert, and things start to thrive. And you can see, you can explain a little bit about these three stats here, because they are fantastic representations of when you're in synchronization and what that looks like.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful example, Craig. And, this is really what we learned from this research and this study. And this is what we found is that we were reducing this visceral fat, that fat inside that's wrapping around and essentially choking your organs, right? We were targeting that and creating a 14% reduction in just 16 weeks. At the same time, we found in this study that we were retaining 98% of lean mass. So if you say, what is lean mass? Well, essentially everything other than fat, okay, is lean mass. But what is part of that lean mass is muscle, and we were protecting muscle. So that is so powerful because muscle isn't just something that makes you strong or fast or move. Muscle, from an endocrine standpoint, is your endocrine sponge as far as glucose is concerned, right? The more muscle you have, the better that you can regulate your blood sugar, right? Muscle is literally part of your endocrine system, right? It helps in our metabolism, in the energy burn that's happening in our body day to day. It happens in glucose regulation, which helps to keep our insulin levels down, right? And so muscle plays a big, big role in quality of life. Muscle is literally now called our longevity organ, right? Because it gives us the capacity to move and experience life and to regulate our body hormonally and as well as physiologically. So, what we found in this study, which is very amazing, and this study was specifically done on our system, is that we were affecting these three areas. We were targeting visceral fat while preserving lean mass and protecting our muscle. And that is reversing metabolic dysfunction. And when we saw that happen, we realized that we weren't in the weight loss industry anymore. And all the things we were experiencing, that energy, that mental clarity, that loss of inflammation and brain fog that we were experiencing, that was all due to this process of the metabolic dysfunction being reversed and metabolic synchronization starting to happen in our body. And that led us to be able to make some medical claims of what we could actually help people with.
Let's
It-
talk about medical claims for
yeah,
just a second, because a medical claim for some of us that aren't, in the legal side of things, medical claims are what the government has put into place to protect end users from being scammed. Because you can make a claim that you can do something, you can lose 2,000 pounds, and all this different thing. You can grow hair, and if they're not true, you can actually be sued by the government and you can be shut down because they're trying to protect the end users that are gullible or that didn't do their research. And so for a company to be able to get an endorsement from the FTC and the FDA to make these types of medical claims, get this, without medications. Let that sink in. These are not prescriptions, right? That you get from a doctor. This is a protocol that you can get through a health coach and that can reverse type 2 diabetes, high triglycerides go down, blood pressure goes down, and insulin sensitivity goes up. So these are profound medical claims that aren't widespread in the industry. This is only Trilivy from the science and the studies that we specifically did.
yeah, that's beautiful. And it's one of the important parts that we don't talk about this a lot, but we're a part of a publicly traded company, which provides a level of protection to you, our clients, because of what Craig just said, right? What we say and what we are talking about must go through these filters of governmental regulation to protect you, right? And I think that's just super powerful and important. But one of the next aspects of this innovation is a major enhancement to our fuelings. And so
Yeah.
let's share a little video just to bring you up to speed with what has happened in this new enhancement to our
With
fuelings.
Trilivy.
The future of targeted nutrition is here. Introducing Trilivy Reset Fuelings, now enhanced with MetaVantage technology, formulated with proprietary ingredients designed to optimize metabolism. Because when your body functions better, you look, feel, and live better. The foundation of Trilivy's Reset Plans. Fuelings are nutrient-dense meal replacements scientifically designed with high-quality protein to help preserve muscle, fiber and BC30 probiotic cultures to support digestive health, 24 plus vitamins and minerals, including 50% of the daily value for vitamin D, the right balance of carbs and fat, all working together to help support a strong, targeted fat burn while protecting healthy muscle. And now, every fueling is formulated with MetaVantage technology, featuring clinically studied ingredients. Heat-treated postbiotic to help support a reduced waist circumference, chromium picolinate to help maintain normal insulin function, and choline to support normal fat metabolism. When used alongside a structured and comprehensive reset plan, targeted nutrition resets metabolism and helps you lose the right weight, improving body composition, not just changing the number on the scale. Trilivy Reset Fuelings, powered by MetaVantage technology.
So think about that, guys. We had Optavia Essential. Now we have Trilivy Reset Fuelings. So great.
It's so
Why don't you
beautiful.
guys
And I'm
introduce our guest?
Yeah, I'm super excited to bring on Mariah because sometimes I don't know about you. I love the science. I love hearing about that, but I like results. And so Mariah was one of our pilot, and she has been doing this back in February. They were announced, and I'm super excited to show her results, you guys. And this is what we're talking about when your metabolism starts changing, right? And so Mariah, I'm going to go through your scans here because you guys, you got to look at this. In fact, I want you to take a screenshot because what you're seeing here is what we're super excited about. And so,
Yeah, but one thing I just want to draw to attention is Mariah was working with us,
yes,
right? And she was having a lot of success. And the only thing that switched was we brought in the MetaVantage
managed
technology
efforts.
fuelings, right?
Yes.
And so she was part of the pilot of people that we got to work with that were experiencing this for the first time. So when we introduced the MetaVantage technology fuelings, these are the 85-day progress results.
Yes, so on here you see that this was 85 days since she had done the pilot. And Mariah, share with me the beginnings of this program, like your thoughts and even when you started, what you were thinking.
I was so excited. Even though I had been doing the 5-in-1, I was like, "Ooh, well, what's next? What do we got coming?" I would be honored to be part of that. So when I first started, it was exciting. It was new, even though, the fundamentals didn't change. The new science was really what picked it up and brought it forward.
And so when you started, you were looking at, you had the scale, the metabolic scale, which was very important, right? As we started to look at this every single week, instead of just a regular scale, because this gave us the results that we were looking for. Honestly, you guys, if you see the before and after here pictures and you see her, what was so surprising, look at here at the top, her total weight loss in this 85-day progress, right? It was 35.9 pounds. But the total fat loss was 38.8 pounds. That is your metabolism that Craig was talking about. That is metabolic synchronization. And what we're talking about, that is Trilivy with the new product line, right? Because we are targeting more body fat. And why did it go lower than the actual weight loss? Because she gained muscle while she was losing weight. Like, I don't know if there's anything else out there that shows these type of results within 85 days, you guys. And you can see in her measurements, right, on there. And so, Mariah, tell me how you were feeling throughout the process. Because I know we had our coaching sessions, and I know there are some things that you told me that kind of blew me away when I was asking you how you were feeling and what was going on.
There were a few major changes for me. And the first one that just kind of took over was the food noise was gone. I didn't have a lot of food noise while I was in the 5-in-1, but there were days that were harder than others. And once I really got into that really deep fat burn, it was gone. The mental clarity was through the roof. I was able to balance my hormones even more. You guys, PMOS is a major part of my story. And I have successfully been able to work at reversing that as we move through here.
No, it was so beautiful because she has started making such radical changes, you guys, that her doctor even noticed and wanted to know what the heck she was doing. This is the change that we're talking about, how it's going to ripple into the next generation, you guys. These are the differences that you're seeing. And it's just with that metabolic dysfunction that now you have a solution that I call quality weight loss because it matters, right? It matters what you're losing.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Mariah. What a beautiful example of what's possible and why the
So
MetaVantage
proud.
technology was added into our fueling system. But one of the things that we also found in this study that I think is so powerful, Craig, I'll let you share about this, but we call it the force multiplier.
Yeah, and so I'm going to take you, we'll go into the stats here in a second, but just imagine if you're driving along in your car and you get a certain kind of gas mileage. But if you have Amy, health coach Amy, in the passenger seat, you get 10 times more better gas mileage. Imagine that. Just think about that for a second. 10 times more weight and specifically 17 times more fat. Like the you can have the exact same fuelings. You can even have the new upgraded fuelings. But when you have a coach along for the accountability, the encouragement, the relatability, all of that, 10 times more weight and 17 times more fat. So when I'm going to encourage you guys, for those of you that have left your coach out of your equation, you might want to give them a call and bring them back in because they are the force multiplier for you folks. And I'm telling you, we don't want to temporarily lose weight. We want to learn to live in synchronization way after the reset.
I love that, Craig. And I just want to add one powerful thing that you said there. I was in the passenger seat and we put Mariah in the driver's seat. And that's really what this destination is about, is putting you and equipping you and putting you in that driver's seat to know that you can go wherever you want to go. And that's with the coach in the community, the science backed products, and the habits of health transformational system with the mindset, right? Those are the game changers. And really, I say the foundation of our system with Trilivy.
And that's why those three components are considered our Trilivy metabolic health system.
Yeah.
So the MetaVantage technology that has been added into our fuelings is a platform of proprietary ingredients, formulas that are designed to optimize your metabolism by unlocking key metabolic pathways. And so there's some specific ingredients that were used in order for that to happen. And so those three areas are chromium picolinate, right? Which chromium picolinate helps to maintain healthy insulin function.
I've got a little
Choline.
piece on that. If you
Okay,
think
go ahead,
of,
Craig.
yeah, if you think of insulin, so imagine the cell in your body is like a room. Insulin is akin to the doorway. Chromium is the doorknob. So it helps the door get open so that the energy can get into the cell. It's genius. It's so good.
No, that's beautiful. I love
No,
that.
it's
That
so
helps it
so
bring it to life. So
encouraging.
the choline is to support normal metabolism, right, and fat burn. And then the postbiotics have been shown to reduce waist circumference. So they have been brought together in a blend with our fuelings that already have all of your vitamins and minerals and probiotics to enhance that. So the nutritional blueprint is they're nutritionally dense, they're high quality protein, they're interchangeable, there's 24 vitamins and minerals, they have our pre and probiotics. And there's no flavors or sweeteners from artificial sweeteners. So this is a major enhancement to what we've already been offering. And this is exactly why, as Craig explained earlier, this evolution to Trilivy, it was necessary,
Yes.
right? In order for us to be able to move into this metabolic world and really offer the full trilogy of optimal health and really take us to where we're going, which is actually making a change in the metabolic health of our country. And that starts with each of us individually.
I love it. I love it. And it's so good to when you guys are thinking about this is now that we have access to the technology, one of the things that wasn't on there was improved flavors. And flavor's not everything. You know what? The function first, the flavor second, but the flavor's there too. I'm going to be real clear about that. I've tasted some of these and they're delightful as usual. But the reality is that as you're going through that, you got the reset and the reset's important. And then we move beyond the reset to refine. And refining, it's been very difficult actually for us to lose body fat and gain muscle until now. Doing those simultaneously has virtually been impossible, right? Now we can do those. Mariah just showed you the results. They can happen simultaneously, which is fantastic. And then we're going to move from reset, we go into the refine and the renew. And those are the next phases of moving beyond weight loss and moving really into body composition, into that thriving mode where you're not going back to the old favorites. Why? Because you found some new favorites and those favorites love you back.
Yeah,
That's
I love
beautiful.
that. And just to address something in the chat here on how doing it this with whole food, that's why you're in the reset for just a moment. Because then when you move into the next phase, which is refine, we are going to bring in more whole foods and your body's going to adjust because you have metabolically synchronized what's happening. And it's such a game changer because that needs to be done, right? As you're happening through the reset and moving into those next things.
Well,
So,
Amy, and your lean and green is whole foods from day one. Just want to
Yeah.
be clear.
Yes.
We got whole
yes.
foods from day one. Yeah.
That's right.
Love
All
that.
right, guys. So as we wrap this up tonight, we want you to know that we know that the OptaVia client app is going to be sunsetted, and we are going to evolve into an upgraded version that we now call the Client Hub. This Client Hub is going to have all the things that you've grown to love. With many more enhancements. So all of your recipes, yes, still included in there. The Habits of Health system, it's in there. Your daily connection points and videos, they're still there. All your guides and resources are there. So the new digital Trilivy reset guide is in there with all of the research that we went through tonight, as far as all the accommodations for exercise and all of those things. So yes, the solution is here. You can receive this app now from your coach. They can provide that to you and through your mentorship. I believe Chris may even be adding that into the chat. And so next week, we have an exciting announcement. We are officially launching the new webinar, podcast, and YouTube broadcast of the weekly reset. This is going to be an expanded version. We are going to be integrating in with greater portions of the field so that we can bring you more connection, more voices, and really bring this science to life. The mission of Trilivy is beautiful.
Yeah.
And here is the mission: creating lifelong transformation through metabolic science and human connection. And this community and your coach are the human connection point. And the MediFast Metabolic Health Institute is going to continue to evolve the science. You're in the right place at the right time, heading in the right direction to create the health and life you wanted through the trilogy of optimal health: healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. Thank you so much, Craig, for joining us tonight. Mariah, such an inspiration to all of us. We can't wait to see you again next week. Everybody have a wonderful night.